singing a song about a guy named Bar Yochai. Well, let me tell you. Yeah, yeah, la, 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 la. It's so hard for me to turn off the song. Happy Lag BaOmer! What the heck is Lag BaOmer? Oh, it's so good, the music, I can't stop. Okay, Lag BaOmer. Lag means Lamed Gimel. That means in Gematria, the numerological value is 33. Lamed is 30, Gimel is 3. So this, right now, is the 33rd night of the Omer counting. What the heck is the Omer counting? Okay, we have a tradition from history. We counted the days from when we got out of Egypt all the way to when we received the Torah. And it was technically 50 days. And so we count like the way that your kid counts for their birthday, because they're so excited. We have this tradition to count from Pesach, when we left Egypt, to Shavuot, the holiday where we received the Torah, because this is the first time we're receiving a holy download from God. It's the first time we're meeting God, actually. I mean, okay, we saw the miracles, but anyway, it's a big deal. So, okay, so Shavuot's a big deal, but what's up with 33rd log day? I've got wood in the background too. Why log day? So this day happened two things in history. That was called Israeli English. This day happened two things in history. So the first is that there had been a terrible plague. Whoa, sound familiar? Yeah, and in this time period, during Rabbi Akiva's time, 24,000 students died. Because even though Rabbi Akiva's #1 motto in life was Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, to love and respect each other, his disciples were not succeeding. And not only that, what were they not succeeding at respect each other at? Respecting how the other person did their Judaism. Woo! All right, take a message from that. But today, the students stopped dying. And that was a big miracle. It's like the end of Corona, right? Like, fine. Now, another amazing thing happened, that on this day in history, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai died. So, you know, we Jews were a little weird, right? We celebrate death. It's not weird though, because really what happens on a yard site the day that a person dies is that all of the light they brought into the world over the course of their entire, spreading my arms, you can't see it, over the course of their entire lifetime, all of that light comes that they did over their whole lives, comes flooding back into the world on that very day. So today is a day of enormous light, because Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was a huge rabbi, and I should say nearly, but we really never heard of this guy. Like, really, what did he do? Why is he such a big rabbi? This is the rabbi for whom all of the Kabbalah, the mystical tradition of Judaism, came down to downloaded into his brain. And from him, all of the Kabbalah, all of the Zohar that we know is from him. Zohar itself means a great shining light, right? And this is one of the reasons why traditionally Lag BaOmer is celebrated with bonfires. Now, what else is a fire? Fire is compared to the neshama, to the soul. And even there's 5 layers of the neshama, 5 levels of the neshama, of the soul, and they're compared to the different colors in a flame. It's really incredible if we ever have time to learn that together. And also, I mean, the soul's like fire because it's alive and it can illuminate. It could also burn, God forbid. Also, it's always in a magical dance. It's always alive. The soul, whether or not it's in a live body or gone to the other world, is still alive. It's a part of God. And it's always reaching up, always reaching up. No matter what happens, if you have a lighter and you turn it upside down, you're still going to get burned, because fire always reaches up. So too, our souls always reach up. So let's cover what we learned today. Okay, so far we talked about that tonight and tomorrow is Lag BaOmer, Mazel Tov. But what is Lag BaOmer? We learned I can't say that word. The numerical value is 33. That means we're on the 33rd night of the count. This is the count that happened from leaving Egypt till receiving the Torah, which is basically a spiritual metaphor for our whole lives. Leave Egypt, receive the Torah, feel illuminated. Bam, right? Our whole lives summed up right there. And that tonight's 33rd is really special. You could start hearing my neighbors are playing music. Tonight is really special because the students stopped dying, which means that they actually learned how to respect each other's Judaism, no matter how different it looked from theirs. And also that it's the Hilulah, which is the Sephardi version of how you say Ashkenazi Yartzeit, and that he was such a great rabbi because he downloaded all of Kabbalah into his brain. And Kabbalah, as we know, is the mystical teachings of Judaism. Now, okay, so listen, sorry, I'm wiping my nose, that's classy. Not so classy see, but I don't care. All right, so like this. If you're a Hollywood producer and I give you a script, you can read it, you can think it's great and very interesting or profound, but it doesn't yet come to life. What brings it to life is the energy behind it. When the actors step on stage and they bring the script to life, now you feel like this play is alive. Well, this is like our Torah. The Torah it's awesome, but sometimes it doesn't feel alive. We have a hard time interpreting it. And this is the mystical component of the Torah. It's all these teachings that infuse it, fill it in, bring it to life. And all the Hasidic teachings, we know all of Hasidut, if you've ever heard of Hasidut, comes from Kabbalah. So everything, all these Torahs that we love, they're so juicy, they touch our soul. We just want to bite into them and love them, and they make us feel loved. This is all the Torah from the Kabbalah. And if you just study Torah plain, you don't see it. It's like if you just look at a person plain, you see a body, you don't see the soul. But really the soul is there illuminating it the whole time, right? So with us, our soul is illuminating us even when the outside might seem nice, but we don't really get it deeply. So too with the Torah, the mystical traditions, the Kabbalah, infuse it with life. It's the soul, it's what you can't see. Okay, so now that was the setup for one of the coolest Torahs I've ever heard. But we're going to get a little bit complicated. I guess this is your Torah shiur for tonight. I don't know about you guys in South Africa, but here we're not really allowed to have bonfires, that traditional thing that people usually do for Lag BaOmer to celebrate that soul, that light, that mystical fire that's always there even when we don't light those fires. So maybe you have bonfires to go to, but we don't. So everyone's probably doing something as cool as me, like tapping their foot in their house. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you the story, right? Okay, so whatever you understand is great, okay? I'm introducing a very high-level concept, and what that is that every single night that we count the Omer, we also attach to it a special energy force that is listed, many of the terms you may have heard, Netzach, Gevura, Hod, Yesod, Tiferet. There's all these different spiritual energy channels, okay? So I know that's complicated, but they all have a different meaning, except for these words are very esoteric and they're hard to define. So, for example, if I wanted to define Lara, I'd have to use a story of that one time she sponsored this woman to come to Israel when she was having a hard time, and then I understand Lara, right? But without the story, I didn't really understand her. So the Gemara, the Talmud, gives us a story for every one of these energy channels so we could deeply understand the energy of every night. So tonight, it's okay if you don't understand this, the energy channel is called Hod Shebehod. Okay, now Hod typically is interpreted, but again, we struggle for an appropriate word. Hod is interpreted as like humility or splendor. So tonight is the night of splendor, or humility of humility, and it's still lacking. So that's why the Gemara brings the story to explain what is Hod. Okay, you ready for this story? It's really, really wild. Okay, here's what it is. So, in the Bible, in the portion called Chukat, it's a summer portion, so many of us miss it during Hebrew school. There's this crazy story that Israel, the Bnei Israel, the children of Israel, are walking through the desert, and all of a sudden they are in a valley and they see like a river of blood with like amputated limbs and like, oh, it's terrifying. It's so scary. And we're freaking out. But listen to actually what the truth of the story was. So the people of Israel going through the desert, and all of our enemies laid in wait to kill us, right? And they, because we were in the valley, they were in the mountains hiding out in these caves, right? In the different mountains. And they were ready to murder all of us. But before we came, God actually made a miracle, and he squashed the mountains together. And as you know, geology often, like, let's say, breaks apart. So where there was a cave here, there was a protrusion, and he squishes the mountains together, and all of our enemies died, and their blood and limbs came out. Now, in our life, when we see something horrific, we just think, oh my God, this is horrific, this is terrible, this is bad, this sucks, right? We use our human knowledge to try to put a label or a judgment on it, but that's like eating from the tree of knowledge. That's not very smart, because the truth of life is that God is always working behind the scenes for our benefit. Every circumstance in our life is personally navigated and orchestrated by the Ribono Shel Olam, the master of the universe, for our highest best. And that's emunah. And that's what we can't see in this world. We don't see God doing every single circumstance of our life for the best. We cannot understand why the bad things are actually for us, right? Things are not happening to us, they're happening for us. And so, on this night of Hod Shebehod, it tells us a story of what is Hod? What is this combination of humility and splendor? And what it is that God is doing everything for us, for our highest best to save our lives. So I question you right now on this night of the mystical, of the things we can't see, the night of soul, the night of Kabbalah, the night of hidden fire. What is it in your life that might look bad right now? And can you, and can I, take the leap of faith to emunah, which is deeply believing in the goodness of God, and deeply believing that God believes in our goodness and wants the best for me? And can I surrender the suffering a little bit that I feel to know, even if I need to change the situation, that the situation at the current moment is the absolute best thing that could be happening to me? This is true humility. This is God's true humility and splendor, because he doesn't show us like, oh my God, I'm always doing everything amazing for you. I'm God, right? God does everything for the highest best of our soul needs. Sometimes it feels terrible, but it is always for the best. And that is why on this night we celebrate the splendor of the world, of existence, of God, the humility of God, that he's doing everything for love for us, and we don't even see it. And sometimes we can hate God or be annoyed at God, feel far from God. Mila is like, I'm going to love you, love you, love you in the most humble, splendorous ways. I'm saving your life like I saved the people's lives in the desert. And so tonight is usually in Israel, a night of tremendous celebration and excitement. And may it also be so for us as we not only celebrate the light of the Torah, but remember our souls are a part of God. God's essence is the Torah. So really we're celebrating the light and the fire of our souls. Any hidden fire that might be in there that you want to bring to life or celebrate, this is the night to do that. It's the night to really shine onto the people around you, to share your light with them, and God forbid not to burn anyone, right? Because we have to be careful with our light that we don't overstep, right? I could say that for sure. And yeah, I bless us with believing in that which we can't see with our eyes, and that emunah becomes the fire to illuminate the way of walking with trust in life. And may that trust be the fuel, the fire, yes, may it be the fuel for the fires of our happiness, because happiness is in direct correlation to emunah. The more we believe that God is good and does good to us and loves us, the happier and more surrendered we can be in our life, right? All my plans got messed up tonight. I had like 5 different plans, and if it weren't for emunah, I'd be really bummed right now. But I was like, this is so funny, God. He just canceled all my plans, and I switched this for that, and I switched this for that, and I tried to make every gap in, and I canceled the client, and I accepted everything like balagan. And nothing's working out right now as I see it, but I know that this is the absolute best way I could spend Lag BaOmer. And because my plans messed up, I was able to make this video for you and share these are just wonderful, beautiful Torahs. So that's Lag BaOmer, 33rd day, death stopped. We celebrate a great rabbi, we celebrate the Kabbalah, we celebrate our souls, the light of our souls, and the faith in things that we might not see clearly with our eyes or think are good, but now we can deeply know they're good, and then that's why we get to party. Yeah, baby, yeah. All right, ladies, so much love. I hope that you experience something of Lag BaOmer. If you can't light a fire, light a candle, and you could have a candle meditation with your family and see what you feel about fire and why fire is also connected to the soul and your soul. Always reaching up, moving on up. Happy Lag BaOmer. Bye.